That's the noise it makes when it turns off? It's not stealthy or anything.
No, it's not. It's actually like, it's pretty useless almost.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is a video response to Bill Benton's Half and Half Challenge. I don't really understand the name. Challenge? It's not much of a challenge, we're just answering some questions.
Yeah, I think this is more or less a personal review of the KO Bros.
I think you could do a better challenge. Should have, like, beating Mike Tyson's Punch-Out with someone spraying you in the face with Lysol or something,
I agree. I agree. This isn't really a challenge at all because I can nail all of these no problem.
Yeah.
Like,
We're just gonna answer some questions and hopefully give you guys, some of our subscribers, I don't know, a better idea, get to know us a little bit. We have over 100 subscribers now. We can't thank you enough for that.
Yeah, thank you again. The likes and the good comments, keep them coming. It always helps. Thank you very much. I can't wait. I'm ready to get started. Like, there's a lot I have to say.
Let's get right into it.
All right.
So, the first 5 questions here are video game related questions, and I think that's why this is called the Half and Half Challenge. But the first question is, what's a game you were skeptical about that ended up being fantastic? For me, that would easily have to be Mario Golf, and more specifically Mario Golf for the Game Boy Color. Back when I was growing up, my grandfather watched a lot of golf on TV, and we weren't allowed to change the channel, when we were over visiting. So my cousin come over with a Game Boy Color. He had Mario Golf, and I just, didn't want anything to do with golf, but I ended up playing it, and it's so much fun. You go through all the different types of courses, and you face all these different difficult opponents, and yeah, Mario Golf, it rocks. I still play that one to this day. I've logged a lot of hours into that one. Yeah.
I guess the game that I would think I was skeptical about at the time was Dragon Warrior Monsters. And I was skeptical about it because I played Pokemon first. And so I thought it's just going to be a complete rip-off. I'm going to show it no love, just like I showed Digimon no love.
Digimon
still,
and
yeah.
Robopon, and
yeah, still to this day I haven't shown Digimon any love. I don't care for them. They all got it. Are they all like a mon at the end? Yeah, like, no. Their music wasn't even as cool as Pokemon. Come on. It was cool because it brought a different aspect of you being able to breed monsters as from catching them, because you didn't necessarily catch monsters in Dragon Warrior Monsters, you befriended them. It was really good. It brought more of a tournament feel to it than Pokemon did. Cool. That was a game that I thought was
quality game.
Yeah, it is. So the second question is, if you can possess any item from any video game, what would it be? And for me, it would be Samus Aran's suit from Metroid. I feel like if I had that suit, I can do anything I want. I can walk anywhere I want. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Like, you yourself, you don't have to be strong. You don't have to be powerful. You can be a weakling, But the second you put that suit on, you can do all sorts of cool things.
It does everything.
Yeah.
You are an army by yourself. So that's the item that I would want.
Myself, personally, I think I would have to go with King Meteor, which is Captain Arrow's car in F-Zero. More specifically, F-Zero X or F-Zero GX. I think they're pretty much the same car. I don't know, something about a hovercraft that could do something like, 1,400 miles an hour. I mean, of course, it's like instant death. Where the hell would I use something like that?
I tell you this much, you'd be giving those state troopers the chase of their life. Like,
they'd never even see me coming, and they'd barely hear me go past, Okay, so the next question being asked here is, what's the best video game-related item you've ever received from a friend? And for me, that would have to be the Street Fighter artwork book, and I got this from my friend Derek. Thanks a lot, Derek, by the way. And he gave this thing to me because he knows I'm a huge Street Fighter fan. I love looking at this thing. It's got all the original artwork, a lot of the original stencils.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm kind of jealous because I would want something like that, but King of Fighters or Fatal Fury.
I'm sure something like that would have to exist, but this has been so cool to look at. You know what I mean? Just there's so many pictures in here I didn't know existed. It's cool to see some of the earlier drawings of some of the most beloved Street Fighter characters.
So I guess for me, the best video game related item would be a video game itself. So my mom, she wound up going to a garage sale and she picked me up like a few regular Nintendo games, and when I played those, I actually turned off my Xbox for like a whole week, and I was just playing old games for a little while. And just like that, I fell back in love with old games again. So for me, it was the gift of retro power. Okay, so the next question is, what is a game that you really enjoy that no one else seems to know about? And for me, that would be Otage Myth of Demons. That game is like on a class of its own. It's got Japanese folklore in it, destructive. Like when I played that game and I found out it had a sequel, I was too excited. I was excited as if the sequel hadn't even come out yet.
I remember you brought that on the first episode of What's on the Table, and you were saying so many good things about it that, yeah, I mean, now I want to play it. Well, for me, it would have to be Renegade on the original Nintendo.
Oh, God.
I know. Well, okay, I think plenty of people probably know what the game is, but I'm telling you, like, you never hear anyone talk about it. It's probably for good reason. The controls are kind of screwy, and I think the whole story is, like, forget what it says, it's like 3 a.m. is no time to be alone in the subway, and you're about to find out why. It's real cheesy, but I love that game. It cracks me up every time I play it. So the final game-related question here is, what game do you think deserves a sequel or a modern remake? No doubt about it, I mean, I knew the answer to this one immediately. Mutant League, anything, football or hockey, but I guess if I had to pick one, I'd say hockey. Hockey was more fun back on the Sega Genesis of the two. We even did a KO versus of that. That game was so funny. I mean, with all the new technology floating around, and like, you know, the NHL engine and the Madden engine, and with the popularity of zombies these days, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't remake that. That'd be a cash cow.
Yeah, I agree. I guess the game for me, if they had to make a remake, I would want it to be Crash Bandicoot. It's been too long. I enjoyed playing Crash Bandicoot when I was a kid. I don't understand why they haven't made a remake to it yet. It should have been out. I say it should have been out when PlayStation 4 hit the scene. I don't like it. I feel like they should just remake a new good Crash Bandicoot. Alright, so we're done with the game-related questions. Now it's more personal questions. So who is your favorite musician or band? I really can't give you a straight answer on who exactly, because I like music, and if anybody likes music, I would imagine they have more than one person that they like or band that they like. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, I like listening to rap. That's not to say that I don't like listening to like beats and anything like that. Like, yeah, I know we're getting off of game related things, but in Def Jam Vendetta, it was a game that was all about rappers facing off with each other, and there was a lot of their music in there, so that made for an exciting twist, along with like being able to play with your favorite rappers. So as far as music or rap musicians go, or bands, I would say like rap is my favorite genre.
Yeah, I don't really blame you for just picking kind of like a genre. I'd sort of do the same thing too, but I do have a favorite band, and that's Darkest Hour. You know, I have a pretty broad musical taste. I like hip hop, I like rock, I like metal, I like a lot of techno and like this, like, you know, new age retro stuff that's coming out. You know, like the New Wave Retro channel. That's pretty cool. When I was in high school, I got like a real metal kick going, and as much as I like some of the older 80s like hair band metal and all that good stuff, there was a band that was current at the time, Darkest Hour, and I have every album by them, or at least up to a certain point. And I just love the music. It was so good. You know, that's probably my favorite of all time, I'd have to say. And that's a hard choice, too. It's a really hard question to answer.
That was a hard question.
So the next question is, what's something you liked as a kid that you don't really care for now? It's kind of funny that this question come up because just recently I went out of town, and I spent the night at a family member's house in a different city a few hours away. I don't like sleeping in someone else's house anymore. When I was a kid, going over to like a family member's and having a sleepover, that was a lot of fun, or going to a friend's house and spending the night. I used to love doing that. Nowadays, even if I'm in like the closest relative or you know, anywhere, even a hotel, I just can't get comfortable like that. Sleeping somewhere else other than my own bed, I can't stand that now.
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like comfortable doing it anymore. Something that I don't care for anymore, it's in the food category, would be SpaghettiOs and raviolis. The Chef Boyardee brand. Yeah, I don't care for raviolis or SpaghettiOs for no kind of brand, no kind of way.
But from out of a can?
Yeah, like it's nasty. It's nasty. It's soggy. It's the meatballs.
The sauce
what
is
are
orange.
What are those meatballs? Like, they don't taste like anything like meatballish. It looks to me like a dog took little pebbles of shit, like a little chihuahua took little pebbles of shit. and my SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
It's eternal. But yeah, that's it. Okay, so the next question is, what's something you did dumb as a teenager? When I was a teenager, cards were still relevant. That was the era of Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and all that. And I had this one friend, I won't name who he is, but he'll know who he is as soon as this video comes out. He would go to other like teenagers, he would ask to look at their cards, they would show him, and he would pop their cards in the air. And the funny thing about it is, you know, he would talk, me and Tom went to school together.
Yeah, I saw it happen all the time.
Me and Tom went to school together. So
it'd be like peaceful and
and
by the lockers.
You'd be seeing the guys be like, no, my cards.
Yeah.
And then you just see a whole bunch of people scurrying over, grabbing them, sugar, grabbing the cards and everything. It was so funny. And then you see everybody scattered because the hall monitors are coming. I kind of orchestrated that to happen, like with my friends. It was grimy. It was. Thanks, bro.
Something really dumb I did that's coming to mind right now. I think I was probably like 14 years old, and I was hanging out at a friend's house when some older teenagers that I knew I was friends with in high school were going up to Ithaca. It's north of where we live, and they were going to go to 6 Mile Creek and go cliff diving. They asked me if I wanted to go, me and a couple of my friends. Well, they all said no, and I said yeah, and I hopped in the car. Now, my parents didn't know where I was going. I didn't have a cell phone. Here I am driving an hour away to go cliff diving, you know, something I've never done, dangerous as hell. So like we get up there, and I'm looking at these cliffs, like some of them are pretty small, but then there's some pretty high ones too. And like you can even jump into a dam. There was like poles down there. It was really like a bad place to be doing this. I remember after jumping off some of the shorter ledges, I went to the highest one. I stood there staring off at the water for a while until I finally got the guts to go ahead and do it. So I ran off and I jumped and I closed my eyes, which was a huge mistake, and I didn't land so well. I kind of landed on my ass and I felt like I collapsed and I knocked the wind out of me. I mean, I made it to the surface, I was fine, but in hindsight, man, am I lucky, you know, that nothing happened to me. My parents didn't know where I was, no one knew where I was, but a couple of people I wasn't really close with.
I couldn't do that. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that. Not at all.
It's
even
kind of...
You're from a small cliffs, bro. No, yeah. I'm sorry. Like, not for nothing, I don't believe in my luck like that.
So the fourth question is kind of silly. What did you want to be when you grew up? For the longest time, I wanted to be an auto mechanic or like an auto technician or just someone who worked on cars. Or, you know, it'd be like Sunday morning, Saturday morning, we'd watch the car shows. These guys are always working on these cool classic cars, you know, Camaros and Mustangs. Everything just went so smooth for them. You know, they had all the parts, nothing was rusted. In high school, I got the opportunity to take some auto mechanic classes. And I'm thankful for what it taught me because now I can fix some stuff on my car by myself. But at the same time, it taught me also that that's not how it was going to be. You're fixing other people's cars. I mean, we live in New York too, so there's a lot of snow, there's a lot of salt, and cars rust out up here. And it's a nightmare trying to work on these cars. They're filthy, and if you screw up, the customer's going to get mad at you because it's their daily driver, and not everyone has a lot of money. So, I mean, that's what I wanted to be when I grew up, but I guess in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't, you know.
Well, I guess for me, I wanted to be like, you know, a soldier. I thought about it in and out. I was real close to, a few years back, joining the Army because I had like real thoughts on it. I was gonna do it. I went to the interview, met with a recruiter and everything. I wound up thinking about like how much time I'd be spending away from my family, and that's more or less what made me want to stay. And I never gave school the fair approach that I thought I could give it. So I decided to do that, and that's the route that I chose. My cousin joined the Army. I'm very proud of him. Glad he's doing his thing in it. And what he tells me, there's tough times in it, like some real tough times, and
you appreciate the boys and girls in uniform, and you respect what they do.
Yeah.
And it's a noble path, it really is, but it's not for everybody.
Yeah, no, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely happy for him. I feel like I'm content with the path that I chose in the direction that I'm going. So yeah, like, you know, that was something that I thought about when I was younger, almost did it when I was older, but then I just said no. Last question. If you could go back and do one thing different, what would it be? If I can go back to school and do things the right way from when I first went in there, because, you know, I got out of high school, and when I got into college, I went with a lot of friends that I knew. It kind of felt just like high school again. So I made all the wrong decisions, like going to lunch, seeing everybody just hanging out in there. I didn't complete it earlier, and had I just stuck to myself and kept on working at it, I would have had my degree already and did everything. But now I'm in school now doing that. So if that's one thing I could do different, that's what I would have done different.
When you're getting out of high school, that's a tough time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, you just spent, the last however many years of your life, going to school, and you finally get a taste of what it's like to maybe not have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a hard decision to make, to be like, yeah, sign me up for another 2 to 8 years. You know what I mean? One thing I would do differently if I could go back in time, and I know this is a cheesy thing to say, I'd be buying some of these video games before these prices hiked up. It just makes me sick. I remember going into, some of the local trade and buy and sell game stores. You just didn't even know what you were looking at.
There's games that I got rid of that I didn't even know were gonna stop. Poffle Mail.
Yeah.
Poffle Mail. I had Poffle Mail. I had that, and it went through the roof. Tron Bond.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you telling me about
Tron
that.
Bond. All the Mega Man Legends series.
I saw a hard shell complete in box Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis with the manual for like $30. I'm thinking, no, that's sky high. Like, I'm not buying. I'll wait till it comes down.
If it wasn't for the flea markets, like, you know what I'm saying, we'd spend probably a whole lot more money than what we have been spending. And you know what? We spend a lot of money as it is on these things. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the half and half challenge.
Yeah.
Thanks Bill Benton for tagging us in this. I mean, shit, by the time you're watching this, it's probably been a good 2-3 weeks probably, since he tagged us in it.
At first I thought I was real confident to answer some of these questions, but like, after when you're put on the spot, it's just like,
you gotta think about it for a minute.
Yeah, because I really wanted to give, like, the viewers an honest, like, outlook about myself. You definitely made me think.
Yeah.
I appreciate this half and half challenge. I hope you guys, like, know us a little better now from doing it.
I think the running theme here is after these videos, now we're supposed to tag someone. I can't think of any other 2 people I'd like to tag better to do this challenge than our friends over at Fox Spellcaster, Josh and Brian. Josh and his ever-changing name of his channel, you know what I mean? But these are friends of ours, they live in the area, so we'd like to see them, get involved with something like this. Guys, thanks for watching. I mean, really, this actually has been kind of fun. It's cool. We don't normally do these kinds of videos, but
check out our channel. We got a few things we're working on here at KO Retro. We're definitely working on projects, trying to get them in, and it's growing. It's growing, believe that.
Thanks again, guys. Like the video, comment on it, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.
See ya.